Hi, I'm Linda, the Wisconsin family homeschooler. I'm making a video today to talk about 5 reasons why not everyone should homeschool. I've heard a lot of pressure lately about homeschool moms bullying or trying to shame moms who send their kids to public school or to private school. And as moms, we shouldn't shame each other, but it typically happens. It happens in every circle. There are some reasons you shouldn't homeschool. Not every mom should. The first one is you should not homeschool if you're not willing to put in the effort it takes. Homeschooling, let's face it, is hard. It's not easy. Some moms think it is because they order an all-in-one curriculum or they get an online school from their public school, and they think that that is going to make everything so much better. But in reality, it still takes work. Not only do you have to research your homeschool state laws, but you also have to homeschool what kind of learning style your child has. Some children have an auditory learning style. Some learn best with visual things. Sometimes they learn best with hands-on. Sometimes it's a combination of everything. You have to do your research. Another thing that you need to research is the different curriculums that are out there. There are all-in-one things. There are what's called unschooling, where you kind of school based on the child's interest. Then you have other situations where you're more of an eclectic homeschooler. You might take a little bit from here and a little bit from there and put it all together. But it still takes work. And then on top of that, you have to understand why you want to homeschool, which should be the priority in the first place. Do you want to homeschool because you just don't like what's going on with the schools in the area? Or because you have a religious reason that you want to homeschool? For us, we had 2 valid reasons. One was because we are Christians and we wanted everything with a Bible base. But not only that, my kids are special needs. My daughter had sensory processing disorder, as well as ADHD and anxiety and several other issues as well. My son is on the autism spectrum. So their learning needed to be really focused on how they learned and what would catch their attention to get them to learn. All that requires research and time. If you're not willing to put in the effort, don't homeschool. The second reason not to homeschool is you aren't willing to discipline your kids. We even hear in the public school how teachers are frustrated because the kids come in and they are disrespectful and they lie and they say and do inappropriate things, and nothing the teachers can do can control them. Newsflash, that's a parent's responsibility. As parents, we are given the responsibility to discipline our kids. And just because they're homeschooled does not mean they're going to be perfect angels. Instead, typically what happens is they act up more because now they're home 24/7. So you need to put in some sort of discipline, have rules that are simple for the kids to understand, have a routine, have boundaries. So-and-so can't go into so-and-so's room. You need to finish school by this time. You can't talk to your friends until you're done with your schoolwork. Things like that. So you have to be willing to discipline. If you're not willing to discipline, well, don't homeschool. The third reason not to homeschool would be that you are not ready to change things up. I said earlier that a lot of moms typically buy box curriculums. That's all we had several years ago. I've been homeschooling for 13 plus years now. And at the beginning, that's all we had. There were big name box curriculums, whether they were secular or Christian. You went out, you bought that, and they gave you all the stuff you needed to teach your kids. But there's so much more than that now. There's little bits and pieces of everything and other curriculums out there that you can do so much with. But again, you have to change it up. When you find that your child is not learning the math that you bought, you need to be willing to either spend money and buy a new curriculum or figure out how to use the curriculum you have and adjust it for what your child needs. If you're not willing to do that, you should not homeschool. Another reason you should not homeschool is if you care too much about me time. Who doesn't love me time? Who doesn't love having a bubble bath when the kids are tearing up the house? Or who doesn't love me time when you have no idea what to make for dinner? I have a video where I talk about I don't like to cook. I cook once. I cook a dinner for my family, try to make it healthy. I have fruits and vegetables that they can get for lunches, and their breakfast is usually dry cereal, muffins, donuts, whatever we happen to have. So, I don't spend a lot of time cooking, but neither do I get a lot of me time. Our house is small, and we have 3 bedrooms. They're all kind of clustered together. And me time is at a premium, even now that my kids are older. In the past, when they were little, you'd say, oh, I need 5 minutes to take a shower. Well, now I can take a shower, no problem. But at the same time, my kids, I need to make sure they're doing the work that I assign them or they know that they should be doing. So I'm the one going into them to make sure that they are the ones that they are being responsible in doing their work. So me time is fine as long as it's balanced with finding out what the kids are doing and everything. Another reason, I guess the last reason I would say you shouldn't homeschool is because you're really concerned about what other people think. Doctors, in-laws, neighbors, they all are going to have an opinion. And if you really care about what they think, and if you care about what Susie Q down the road is going to be saying about you, then maybe you shouldn't homeschool because you're going to get criticism from every place. Doctors, like I said, we had to change pediatricians umpteen different times because the doctors didn't like that we were homeschooling. Therapists, both my kids had different therapies, OT, PT, speech, what you name it. And a lot of them didn't like that we were homeschooling. And I could have gotten all upset, but I realized that is not why we homeschool, to please other people. We're doing it because we have 2 main reasons. We want it to be based around scripture, and we want it to be based around how my kids learn. And because I had those 2 goals, we kept with it, even when it was a struggle. There were times I wanted to tear my hair out. There are times that the kids were in tears over subjects. And as long as you are trying more to focus on what others think, you're going to be miserable. You must not be a people pleaser in this situation, because if you care too much about what others think, you're not going to homeschool. Thanks for watching my video, and if you have questions, feel free to write questions in the comments, and also feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much, and have a good day.